Hello and welcome back to Sprite Guard Plays Super Avalanche. I have been playing this game quite a lot since the last video and really enjoying it, and so I wanted to go back and revisit it and talk a little bit more about my thoughts about this game. So I am now, I have unlocked all of the items and I'm playing with a couple of the upgrades. I've kind of found a build that I really like. And I'm really glad that this game had some kind of unlock system that let me sort of get used to the different builds really gradually, because I would have been overwhelmed otherwise. And so this is one of those rare cases where I actually think having an unlock system was completely appropriate. I think that the unlock system is a little bit too slow. I felt like I would play with an item, and then I would continue to play, and I would not unlock new items by the time I had figured out what one item did. So I think that the unlock system itself could have used some work, but I think that I'm glad that it existed. So already we've kind of been through some difficulties, and we've swapped out our cape, which I did not get to use very much, for this shield, which is very useful and doesn't require really a lot of effort to use. But now we're kind of trapped in this small space that is actually going to cause us some trouble if we're not careful. These egg-dropping birds can be very dangerous if you are not able to maneuver around them safely. And so one of the things that I'm using for this build is actually a power-up that makes creatures more common, but starts me with a 1-up that we have already used. So we are going to fight Big Mouth to begin with, which is, in my experience, the more difficult of the floor 1 bosses, kind of. I'm not really sure what term to use to talk about the way this game is divided up. I guess the first boss can be either Big Mouth or Mama Birdie. Whoops. There goes half of our shield. The shield protects us from 2 hits. Though once you have the cracked shield, it's actually worthwhile to trade it for basically anything else. There are a few items that I actually think are worse than nothing. And I had some trouble with the hitboxes there. I'm going to be playing pretty badly, a lot worse than I normally play. You can see I've gotten up to 1,100 feet a couple of times, or at least past 1,000 feet a couple of times. And I can fairly consistently get to the first boss, beat it, sometimes pretty often get to the second boss. Though I'm not as consistent in this game as I would like. And let's see if we can... Oh! Lost the cape already. So, yeah, because I'm talking, I'm not playing as well as I normally do. And there's a lot of stuff that we need to pay attention to, so paying attention to what I'm talking about is going to make that harder. And getting out from under this stack... Oops. Well, that's one way to do it. So yeah, things are not going well. Paying attention to what I'm saying is going to take a lot of attention away, and this is a game that needs your full attention. Which I like. I like this game a lot. So, now that we have everything unlocked, I kind of want to look at some of the items from the point of view of which ones do I think are best. I still think that the cape is top tier. It's my favorite item. I don't know that it's strictly more useful than something like the jetpack, but it is really fun to use and really versatile. And so I consider it, I don't think I could pick out any one item as absolutely the best, but the cape I would consider a top-tier item. The rabbit ears, I think I actually mentioned in the previous, I can't remember, that I wasn't sure whether or not the rabbit ears were worth more than having an empty slot. Now I actually think they're worse than having an empty slot just because they throw off my timing so much. I think that they're better than the pogo stick, but I think that given the choice, I would rather just have an empty slot, even though the extra hit point is very useful. So, let's see. We can actually probably go for this ninja band. The ninja band is very good. It can mess me up in some small ways, but it's very useful, especially for the Mama Birdie fight. Less so for the Big Mouth fight, but can still be useful for getting out of a tight spot. And for getting on top of him, though I'm not doing that very well, so we're just going to have to wait for him to come back down. You can quick kill this guy. It's quite a lot harder than the Mama Birdie quick kill, but we killed him quick enough. If you keep jumping on him frequently enough, he will actually not ever jump and you can one-cycle him. But that is pretty tricky because of those little fireballs that he spits, which make it difficult to stay on top of him. More difficult than it is to stay on top of Mama Birdie. Let's see, we managed to get on top of that one. Those spitting flowers can be very dangerous and very difficult, as can these dragons, because they actually throw fire that will stay on the board for a long time. We actually have an extra slot coming up here, so we will grab that and then probably put a shield in it, because we have the double jump, so having the balloon is not as crucial. But having the balloon would still be nice. So if we get another slot, that's something that we might want to go for. We're going to have to wait for a new shop, though, with the different options. But this is a good build that we have going. I have some kind of a between games loadout that has some really useful stuff. I start with a cape, which is, I think I said, my favorite item. Oh, that was a really bad... But we kept our ninja band, which is really what matters. The shield is useful to have, but it's not as useful as the actual mobility items. And so we're going to take this chance to grab the cape. And we can actually get another one-up as well, so that will help us out. Quality of my playing is not great when I'm talking, and I'm not that good at this game yet. I'm not very consistent, but that's something that I am really enjoying working on. Oh, that was a bad way to lose that. I really thought that I was on top of him. These squids are pretty dangerous because they move kind of in ways that are difficult to deal with. They really try to come down from above you. And so we lost that. And when you're in a little area like that, you can very easily get trapped by those squids. So Skyrider is, in my opinion, much harder than the other level 2 boss. But we should be able to take him down if we're just careful. Getting the quick kill I find much more difficult on Skyrider because he can shoot up. And I just didn't get out of the way in time. So that's that. So we completed a mission. We got some coins. I'm max level already, which is... It took longer than I wanted it to, but it was not too bad. I actually really think that this game does okay overall with its unlock system. And I'm still very far from beating the game. I know that there's at least 3,000 feet that you can climb. I don't know how many bosses there are. I don't really know how the game plays out. I don't know if it ends. So there's a lot still to learn, and I hope to continue kind of playing around with it. So I hope that you are interested in following me as I try to continue to get better at this game. For now, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.